This elevate base has been tweaked and trapped by Dima, so now we're gonna see how it defends some of these meta armies. Alright, here we are guys, and this is going to be our base, which is designed by Elevate, and Demo has tweaked a lot of things in this base, especially the trap. So what this player is doing in CW is going in with one of the strongest air attacks actually, which is the Dragon Riders. And with that being said, he is going to have mass invisibility to charge this RC. Now one thing you're going to notice is a lot of redirection, because the base is set up in a way that you don't necessarily have the direct access to the core. There is no like little things that are mistakenly placed, so you're like, okay, I cannot take advantage of that. So no, you have to invest a few things to get into the core. Now obviously once this RC is in the core, she will take some nice damage, but the point about this core is that there is a mortar crusher, and also there is double of these ricochet cannons, so necessarily half this core doesn't actually work on air, which means this is a distraction most likely to make sure the enemy thinks that they've gotten value. But right now, as you can see, the multi-inferno and the builder hut, which actually can shoot the air, will stay up. This is the nice thing about it. Like, the rage spell in the core is giving you that idea of if you get it, you will have a lot of value. Meanwhile, if you look around the base, the air defenses, air expos on the lower side with their geared up tower, there is a lot of air damage. So now this guy is attacking directly into the town hall, so he's not risking it. As you can see, a lot of traps for the healers for ground attacks. Now minion prints and warden ability goes off. Obviously I believe he has the phoenix, maybe no, he has the jelly with something. I thought it was like the minion prince. Yes, I think it may be, because yeah, I can't tell, man. These pets are all over the place. But the back end is heavy with Teslas, multi-archer tower, giga bomb, especially like giga bomb on this base is designed to stop RC charges from going into the multi-inferno, but at the same time it's actually good when you're attacking with root riders or dragons. When you are reaching the back end, this giga bomb damages heavily, and if you start into it to go opposite side of the town hall, well, you will have to pop a very early warden ability. So the placement of these are insanely good, and you can see the queen doesn't have access to the multi inferno, so obviously without any wall breakers, this is going to fall short, especially with the minion prince level 90 being alive. This base is doing like amazing in CWL, and honestly I would suggest you to run it for wars. You can test it in mid legends. I believe in high legends there is players who will wreck this type of bases just because it's been out there for longer time, and wars is just a bit different. So next up we're gonna have a Rocket Loon army, and the clan castle suggested for this base, I believe it's going to be ice golems and it's going to be rocket loons or headhunters, because you're gonna see what happens with the headhunters. Obviously you want to have like around one ice golem, one furnace, and a few headhunters, so you can have variety of different stuff. And the good thing about it is that headhunters dive forward, meanwhile the furnace staying backward. So the enemy has to decide, are they going to poison the headhunters, or they want to wait and see. If the full CC didn't get pulled, there is a sneaky little furnace in the CC, so this attack is going to showcase that very nicely. Now he has the fireball, the furnace is out, he's going to decide to drop the poison on the furnace, but notice one headhunter is going to annoy him a lot here, and because he was taking a closer attention to the siege machine that he has, he's going to miss the fireball. This is huge on the fireball attacks. They need to pay so much closer attention. The decision making is tough. That's why this CC combination will actually make it even tougher for the attacker. Now for the rest of the attack, he doesn't have much rocket loons, but what he needs to do is a very good Sui dive, and we're gonna see how this base doesn't necessarily give you the Sui value. There's little stuff like the wallbreaker placements where these compartments that are on the sides, some of them are open, but at the same time you only have access from the open compartments, or you have to drop 2 wallbreakers for the rest. Same as the monolith, you can't directly open the monolith because as you can see the air defense where the king right now is, is 2 tiles away from that wall. So that means the wall breaker wouldn't actually open and give access to the monolith. It's nice how this base is designed, but now notice the core. This is the core that can hurt those kind of, I would say, warden walks or root ride attacks. He keeps investing spells on the warden. King ability goes off. There is an enemy hero preventing the phoenix getting the monolith. Queen also having to deal with town hall and another enemy hero. You can see how these areas are all balanced with damage and distraction. That's what we're gonna try to kind of reach with this space. Minion Prince, his placement is literally one of the best because he can literally divide that lower side from the core, having so much damage and again distraction. It's amazing, man, it's amazing. But the crusher is going to keep hitting this RC, and I believe, yes, that's the queen. I thought it would the clone queen, but no. Minion Prince is here to clear these last few heroes. Some nice damage, honestly, but obviously Queen and RC together will crush the Minion Prince. Again, you can see how these armies are falling short before reaching the Giga Bomb and the back end, because the back end with that Expo is crazy. So up next we have a super Yeti approach with Warden Walk. This is not gonna be like your regular fireball attack. This is more like the normal Warden Walk where I believe Kingsman was doing in hard mode ESL tournaments. So this guy is taking some advantage from him and trying to do it as, I would say, a bit different, but it's similar version to how you just dive into the damage with the Super Yetis. Warden Walk on the side, another like one Super Yeti on the top side with a Valkyrie to try to set the funnel. Now this Warden primarily kind of have to get the monolith, otherwise pulling him away and starting the attack is going to be slightly tough. Now this guy has a 3 revive spell and I really want to know how he's going to use it. The good thing about this is that the Warden, whenever he's going down, you can actually revive him back up, but he also has nice invisibilities. And also, is he going to rage because he only has 1? He might not rage in front of the monolith because there is no other damage, and obviously with the new healer buff, the Warden can easily get through the monolith. King and some witches on the top side. He's gonna pull the Warden with the Queen. Notice this wallbreaker that I talked about last attack. He needs 2. The one wallbreaker doesn't give access. But what happens to the Yetis is that they will go around because there is an open spot. So they're not gonna take that jump into the core. This is how the base building is set up. You don't give him that easy funnel and path into the core. Well, whilst like without it, he would already thought it would be too easy to go to the core anyway. But now, with these storages, expos and the defenses from the left, these Yetis will actually never go to that core. He had DRC, I believe. DRC went down. The Crusher is heavily crushing that giant with the Minion Prince. Now comes the Queen. Let's see if the Minion Prince can actually take her down. But the healers, man, those new buffed healers are putting some work. And it's insane, it's insane. He's still got the Warden ability, which I don't know if it's the Raid gem and the other gem, like the life one, or it's a proper Warden ability. It may be the life gem. That's why his troops still are alive till this end of the attack. Now the geared up tower putting some nice work. Somehow I believe, yes, that's the RC that is alive. She is going to soon die. That was a king that was dead actually in the core, so my bad. But guys, this Queen is still alive. Notice these buffed healers, man. Absolutely insane. 4 Super Yetis alive, but guess what? The base is really wide. This means the Warden walks and the RC charges takes longer. So that means there is more likely to do time fails when it comes to down these bases, because the defensive are so far from each other and it's so hard to actually reach them quickly. So let's move on to our final replay and see there. So we're gonna have a little RC charge into dragons right now, and this actually showcase the RC charge value. So if you go from the lower side where the Giga Bomb is, there is obviously going to be the Giga Bomb and some of those traps with the giant bombs and the poison tower. If you want to have access to the scatter shot, it's gonna be tough because you have to go closer to the town hall. If you want to have access to the town hall, it's gonna be tough because you can't directly go to the core even if the CC gets pulled. The CC is too close to the town hall, so even once it's pulled, it's not going to actually give RC access to the core. So the RC will go around, and notice how far she's gonna go after she got the town hall. So you can see how each of these angles are, I would say, in a way covered, that the RC doesn't get the most insane value for a mass RC charge. That's why I would say this base is designed really well, and it's trapped really well by Dima. But big shout out to Elevate for their original version of the base. Now the RC, I believe with 2 invis she can get the monolith. Let's see if he's gonna use it good or bad. Nice invis, so yes, he's going to get the monolith. Now where does he start the attack is the question, because you can see the funnel isn't set right. It's hard to choose where you want to start, but he's going to try to get the sweeper, get the queen down with the siege barracks, and try to funnel this side a bit more so the dragons have access to the scatter shots and the core. But you're gonna see what happened, man. It's crazy. Now, some dragon riders on the lower side, minion prince on the top side. He wants the minion prince angled to the core so he can pop his ability nicely for that core. But as I said, the core is a distraction. It doesn't necessarily have too much of air power. It's not fully air power, so the minion prince ability will get too much value. Now again, the minion prince on defense is putting the work on. It's honestly really good. I think he killed like 2 dragons, I think, maybe even 1, but that's enough. That's like a whole air defense. Minion prince ability goes off. The scatter shot on the top side will be kind of covered with the frost, but notice the lower side and the multi inferno, the giga bomb. This is the back end we talk about, that if you attack into it or middle of your attack, you will still take heavy damage, and this area will kind of stay on and alive. Now he does have the queen still, because obviously there was no damage on her, but the minion prince being alive, I believe he's gonna have the phoenix. Again, I don't know with the pets, but depending on these pets that I see, yes, it's the phoenix. Notice the cleanup on the top side. Even if everything goes right, the attack doesn't have the time to clean up on the top side, especially as I said, because the base is so wide. Ricochet cannon, air expose, and the air defense left, and this is going to be another defense. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. The link of this base will be down below in the description. See you soon later. Take care and peace.